reminder to switch up lanes on practice. You're on your second half on practice time. Should have changed over minutes ago. Practice session has finished. We will get the lanes back on full lineup. This guy. Once again, just a reminder, I will be running that raffle ticket sale after a short while. Good luck for bowling, ladies. It's nice to have you back.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Roto-Grip Keystone Quaker Classic.
Day three.
Day three of the Keystone Quaker Classic from Haja Rose Bowl in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to Bowl TV. My name is Aaron Smith, sitting alongside Shannon Sellens.
I made it over here.
Happy holidays, Shannon. Happy birthday as well.
Hey, thanks. Happy holidays to you as well. I'd say happy birthday, but your birthday did not just pass.
This is true. It's been a while. No gifts for the foreseeable future for me. But that's okay.
That's okay. That is okay. So, yeah, we're over here with the girls again. Starting off, 5-game block.
36-foot pattern, similar but different than what the men competed on here for their 2 days. Lengthwise, it's the same. A little less volume, still using the combination of Kegel Fire and Kegel Ice oil. Right around 2-1. And our teams joining us here on the featured pairs to start lanes 27 through 30. We have Schenectady Community College and Muskingum on 27 and 28. And as a reminder for those of you who were tuned in earlier in the week, the scoreboards do follow the teams. So as you can see, Muskingum up on 28. They got the 28 scoreboard. Once they move over to 27, it'll switch back and forth. So as you follow your favorite teams, that's the easiest way to follow the scores. And over on 29 and 30, our defending champion at this event, the Robert Morris Illinois Eagles and the Wright State Raiders.
Now, Robert Morris, Illinois, they are defending ITC champions as well?
As well.
Is that correct? Okay. That's
right.
what I think we were talking about that yesterday or the day before over at the Lehigh Valley Collegiate Classic. So they bowled really well, actually. Yesterday especially, they overtook Pikeville to take second in that event. Nobody was catching Indiana Tech yesterday. They led wire to wire at the other tournament, and just Marissa Carey put on a show of strikes pretty much all tournament. It was amazing to watch. But Robert Morris bowled really, really well yesterday to jump into second at least and pass Pikeville. So some good Tier 1 points, I believe, finishing points.
Absolutely, yeah, and that was a key thing I was going to say we, but I was talking to myself yesterday. Outside of, we had Bruce Hall join us for the final round yesterday. Bruce, very well prepared. He actually had his own headset with him, so.
Bruce does the NEBA live streaming and the interviews afterwards. Like, he's very, very involved with the Northeast Bowling Association and all that they do. So,
definitely
good guy.
Great guy. He's been on Bowl TV a few times before, and his son Andrew now bowling for St. John. So that was the reason why Bruce was up here following Andrew, as he was actually the tournament MVP on the individual side. So we'll get to see who's going to do that on the women's side after today. We will know our award winners. It's a little different than some of the other events we've been to, where there's an all-tournament team. Here they have the high game, high three-game series, and then for 5-game series as well. So Marissa Carey swept those from Indiana Tech with her 300 on Bowl TV. That was pretty cool.
I know, great time to do it. No better time than on the live stream pair.
So we definitely enjoyed that. We shared that video. We'll actually be able to share that on the broadcast today as well. So we'll find a good time to relive that moment.
Do a little throwback.
Absolutely.
A little throwback to Friday.
But
so, yeah, no, she did. She was the tournament MVP. She had a high game. And two of her teammates it was Lakin Edwards and Brittany Kinney, I want to say, had the other 2 spots. So, like, her entire team swept every individual award that was offered at the other tournament. So they just, like I said, led wire to wire. They worked really, really well as a team both days, which is especially important in Baker. But, you know, if they had a rough game, they came back and seemed to have a really big game right behind it to kind of make up for that. So I'm interested to see how they fare today now that we're not bowling on wood lanes.
Yes, that's definitely a big factor. Switching houses is a different surface, which is going to lead to different ball motions, different looks. For a lot of these teams, probably a little bit less familiar with wood lanes. But I know, I think Daniel had brought Marissa Carey on for a few quick seconds as they were kind of doing the trophy presentation he was telling me about yesterday, and he said they actually in the Indiana Tech in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area has a few wood houses available, so it's something they actually can go out and practice on.
Okay.
And I know from, because Marissa actually, I believe, is from LaPorte, Indiana, which is pretty close to where I grew up at.
Okay.
And I know there's quite a few centers out that way that still to this day are wood centers. And so,
Nice.
so for Marissa, you know, that's something she's potentially, depending on where she bowled leagues at growing up, could have been very familiar with all this time compared to so many players who just see synthetic.
Absolutely.
So
Probably felt like home.
Absolutely. But you talked about the top three. 1186 for 5 games for Marissa. Lakin was 95 over, and Brittany was 83 over. They were the top 3 overall performers, which if that's going to happen during your 5 traditional games, your team's going to have a good time, and you're probably going to be up by like 30,000 pins.
Yeah.
So.
And Daniel figured out the field average yesterday, or that tournament on Friday was 171, I want to say, and Marissa averaged like 237. She out-averaged the field by 60 pins. Like, it was literally like she was bowling in her own world.
Mm-hmm.
But if honestly, not knowing that she had grown up around a lot of wood lanes, it kind of makes sense. That entire team is very, very good at being able to get left. That's when they really shine, as opposed to a lot of the other schools where they play very, very straight. So that really worked in their wheelhouse, and they took every advantage they could yesterday. So, and Friday. I feel weird. I don't know what day it is.
That's been the tough part. I agree 100% because, you know, we just had Christmas, and so you never really know what day Christmas is on other than the 25th. That's the only thing you know. And then it's like, I really don't know when anything else is happening after that. And then all of a sudden I'm here, and then I'm getting emails from work. People are still working, and then all of a sudden they stop. So I assumed it was the weekend. And so apparently today is Sunday.
Yes, today is Sunday.
I've had to look several times, but that's what I've deducted. But that was another thing you mentioned, though, about Indiana Tech being able to take advantage of lanes opening up. And another thing Marissa had told Daniel was that the second, or when they came back the second day, and they saw, or it seemed like they were hooking a little bit more out of the gates during the Baker portion, that basically they've like, okay, we liked it yesterday, we're going to like it even more. So there's no reason we're not going to win this tournament by 300-400 pins.
And I believe
that's
they did.
What they did.
I think they were leading by two and change after Friday, and then their lead ballooned at one time to about 500 pins, I want to say. I think it ended up being in the high threes, low fours maybe by the end of it, but I mean, they probably got excited when they saw they were hooking a little bit more, because if you watch all of the girls bowl in that lineup yesterday and the day before, they were able to get left and just get on it. So.
And the format here for the Keystone Quakers, same as Lehigh Valley, so 5 traditional games today, 20 Baker games tomorrow. The only slight difference between the men and the women is that the women will have a true position round. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. Whereas the men yesterday, they were placed based off of their day one spot in the standings.
Okay.
So by the time we got down to the final 4, we had the top 4 teams, but that was from the start of the day, not necessarily a true position round with 1, 2, 3, 4 all bias. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we were lucky with the way the girls were set up, because we actually got the top 4 teams on the live stream pairs for the position round, so we could really see. Obviously, Indiana Tech was not going to get caught, but a little bit of a battle between Wright State and Lawrence Tech. Lawrence Tech was in 5th. They were just off to the left for the position round yesterday, but we were still able to kind of check up on them and see where they were finishing to see if they were going to be able to take down Wright State for that 4th spot. But Wright State held out and was able to make it happen. So it was an unfortunate missed 5-pin on 27. Just didn't get there.
And this will be a thing to note just throughout the course of, from what we saw yesterday, actually the first 2 days with the men on a 36-foot pattern here at Rose Bowl, is that we didn't see a lot of scores on the traditional day. We only had one team crack 1,000 over the course of the 5 games. That was Florida State. And then on the Baker portion, we saw some higher scores on 29 and 30. 27 was the great equalizer in our final matchup because we ended up having the top two teams, William Patterson and Wisconsin Whitewater on 27 and 28, and we hadn't had a actually Baker 200 game rolled on lane 27 since the very first Baker set of the day.
Okay.
So William Patterson hits that pair. They were up 182, I want to say. And they shoot 126 the first game.
Ouch. That hurts.
And that was with, I want to say, 4 splits and then 2 missed makeable spares. So obviously, add those makeables in there, you're 140, 150, 160 somewhere, depending on how all that works. And then they shot a really clean 190, but Whitewater had gone 40 over on lane 28. So they had gained 120 pins. All of a sudden, it's a 60 pin difference with 2 games to go, which definitely can be done in Baker. And then Whitewater hit 27, and essentially the struggles that teams had on that lane all day continued, and they dropped from 2nd to 4th.
Wow.
Because St. John's had gone crazy over on 29-30. Their last game on 29 was 269. They came back on 30, shot 279 the game after that. And then Indiana Tech went 80 over its final 2 games to actually pull ahead of the Warhawks. So for Wisconsin Whitewater, kind of an unfortunate end to a tournament where they had been, they were the only other team to take over first place from William Patterson. And they had been 1-2 the entire tournament. So to fall basically in the last game, only 19 pins separated Whitewater, Indiana Tech, and St. John's.
Okay.
And Indiana Tech was able to jump into 2nd, St. John's 3rd, Whitewater falling to 4th.
Well, and Whitewater went immediately to Jordan Lanes and bowled for a good solid hour. Just throwing shots down on the high end. I practiced yesterday, mark it down, because I haven't thrown a bowling ball since about the beginning of November, I think. Just been super, super busy and haven't bowled any tournaments. But I have a couple coming up, so I figured my teammates might want me to be, not so rusty. So I decided to, as soon as the tournament was done, they gave me a lane at the end of the house just so I could, throw some shots, make sure everything still works properly. It does, for anybody who cares. But I was bowling next to the Whitewater men's team. They were throwing shots. So I was not aware of how that all unfolded, but it makes sense. They immediately went to the other center, got some practice in. But, yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And in this case, you can't look back. You can't falter like that when everybody's so close. So hopefully lesson learned. But I do believe, if I saw it correctly, Indiana Tech had their highest Tier 1 finish. I believe Sydney Brummett had posted the men's had their highest finish at a Tier 1 tournament in the history of the program. So congrats to them for a good finish. And obviously the girls winning yesterday. So apparently it's been a good weekend for Indiana.
It has, and this has been a really positive swing the past few years for Indiana Tech. And looking back to what happened a few years ago, Indiana Tech, there was a very unfortunate bus accident on the way to sectionals to where they couldn't compete. And they were able to come back next year, make it out to sectionals. And this program has continued to get better and better. Men's team both teams making ITCs last year. Some very talented players, a great coaching staff. So it's really all coming together for the Warriors, and it's to the point where you expect them to be a
force to be reckoned with.
A force every time out, yes. And on the men's side for Indiana Tech, Marcus McLean is an Eagle winner at the Open Championships.
Okay.
So that's a pretty unique situation to have a player that talented who has, been on the biggest stage and won, to have that kind of experience, that kind of leadership to rely on. And they've built a lot of nice pieces around the entire team. And obviously the women's team definitely coming into its own, adding another Tier 1 title to its collection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My favorite Pikeville dad just walked by. Every time the team does their chant, he follows it with the same response that they give. It's hilarious. All day yesterday, right behind us.
That's fantastic.
And then we were like waiting for it. Like after a while, we're like, wait, where is he? So yeah, he gets into it. The parents are funny. They are just as excited. It's a little different than what it was whenever I was in school, but more cheering. But the parents get involved, so it's great.
It is. It's fun. Yeah, we've definitely seen a few events to where, or a few programs, I should say, that have tailored their chance to have additional participation, if you will. And it is pretty cool to see the parents get involved. I know there's a few of them for sure that are definitely ready and excited and looking forward to that moment to be part of the experience.
Yes. So let's take a quick look. A couple bowlers on strings. Looks like Robert Morris. Is it Robert Morris? I'm trying to think of who started on 29. Yeah, Robert Morris.
Yep.
They have their third bowler, spare 4-bagger. Anchor bowler, strike spare 3-bagger. So they're trying to put it together. And actually, Indiana Tech over here, I mean, their first bowler is struggling, but second bowler, spare 4-bagger. I believe they moved Marissa Carey out of the anchor position, and she's now the fourth bowler. She went open to start, but I mean that was weird to watch because
all she did was strike.
All she did yesterday, the last 2 days was strike. I think I did, however, see her not strike like one time, and
Shame on her.
I was shocked. I was like, wait, I'm sorry, she just threw a spare ball, and then she split of all things. I was like, wait, what? But it was at the end of it was like the very last game. It was probably one of her last few shots of the tournament, and they were already obviously had wrapped up first place before they bowled their last like 4 games, I believe. But yeah, we'll see if 5-bagger coming up. I believe that's Lakin Edwards.
And in talking to Sydney Brummett after day one, just obviously the news of Marissa's 300 had spread around, and then I believe Lakin, a freshman this year for the Warriors. So once again, as teams and programs get stronger and stronger, it becomes easier to recruit, able to get some new talent to replenish the roster each and every year, and ITC visits help, Tier 1 wins help.
Absolutely, absolutely. I had to decide if I was going to watch the girls again or if I was going to stay with the boys. But I felt like I should follow the girls again and just kind of, I've seen them for 2 days. I thought it'd be really good. And then I was like, oh, but I want to say hi to Sydney. But they had already started bowling when I stopped by the bowling center, so I'll see her later. We'll chat. We'll catch up. I did get to bowl with her 1 year for nationals. She's fun and throws it phenomenally well. So
that she does.
Good coach to have.
So Shannon, as we hit the halfway point here of game number 1, I think I'm going to we got off to a quick start here. Didn't get the rosters just yet. I think I'm going to run down there and see if we can double check who's where for our team. So
I'll do that. Turn me down. I'll do that.
All right.
I'll go do that. I need a little exercise today.
So Shannon going to verify some rosters. As we mentioned, only 10 teams in the field. We had 13. We knew some teams were going to not bowl both events. So with that, got a full 10 teams. So the good news with that is we're going to get to see a lot of these teams a couple of times. So if you are excited to see one of the schools in the field, there's a chance for multiple times, essentially each day, to get to view your favorite teams and student athletes. I know today Wright State will be on the featured pair 3 times out of the 5 games, so we'll get to see players like Ashlyn Stolings, their two-hander who's been on a roll as of late. We saw her at the team match games make the all-tournament team, and she, I believe, was in the top 10 again at the Lehigh Valley. She was actually 4th overall, 1067. So this Wright State team was pretty fun to watch. At the team match games, that was my first opportunity to see them this season, and their anchor player, Madison Stifler, was actually the tournament MVP. Here's Madison making a nice shot and serves up her first double here on Sunday. And looking at the standings from the Lehigh Valley Classic, I mentioned Indiana Tech winning by more than 300, 94-55. Robert Morris, Illinois, second, 91-48. Pikeville, third, 89-04. Wright State, fourth, 83-50. Lawrence Tech rounding out the top 5, 82-71. Rochester, 76-35. Muskingum, seventh with 75-76. Robert Morris, Pennsylvania, 70-51. Schenectady, 70-16, Corning in 10th, Cumberland 11th, Hudson Valley CC in 12th, and Walsh in 13th place. Got Lori in the chat cheering on the Muskies. Thanks for joining us, Lori. Folks, if you are cheering for a team, let us know in the chat. Or if you got a favorite student athlete, we like that too. And 5 traditional games today, 20 Baker games, so 5 4-game sets tomorrow. Total pinfall determines our champions here at the Rotogrip Keystone Quaker Classic, the 26th edition of this great event. In the 16th consecutive year, sponsored by Rotogrip, so thank you to them for their continued support, along with our tournament staff. Our tournament director, Fred Polash, a past Gordon Teagan Service Award winner, along with his son Patrick, who is over at the Lehigh Valley Classic now. So Patrick is the TD for both men's events. Fred takes care of the 2 women's events here in the greater Allentown area. And both of them excellent folks, and do so much for the bowling community. So we're very thankful to have the opportunity to be a part of this event for the first time here on Bowl TV.
All right, success. I have the lineups.
We have rosters.
So for Schenectady, we have Alyssa Parker, Amanda Ruther, Gina Voris, Jessica Joy, and Kim Harshand. Their sixth bowler is Nicole Pitsis. So I'm sure we'll see her throughout the day, throwing some fill shots if she's not in the lineup. But pretty much their same lineup, I believe, from the last 2 days, if I remember correctly. For Muskegum, Rebecca Walker, Emily Betteridge, Sabrina Robertson, Caitlin Smalley, and fifth and final bowler Taylor Angrisano. Again, I believe it's pretty much the same lineup. They only have 5 bowlers, obviously, so just can make lineup changes, but obviously don't have a sub in. On 29 and 30, we have Wright State, Brianna Jesse, Jenna Goodman, Brianne McKnight, Ashlyn Stallings, and Maddie Stifler. Maddie was pretty clutch yesterday, I'm not going to lie. She bowled really, really well as well. For looking at her style, obviously, is a little closer to the way Indiana Tech played the lanes. She has a little bit more ball speed, higher rev rate than a lot of the girls, so she actually bowled really, really well as well. And last but not least, Robert Morris, University of Illinois. We have Megan McCunovich, Sam Scroggin, Ronnie Dreyfus, Maddie Brandos, and Danielle Chupp. They have Abby Marazalkowski. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. I'm probably not. But and Steph Followbeck as their 6th and 7th bowlers in case they make in lineup changes. So, and they bowled really well. Obviously, playing straighter. A lot of the girls do throw the ball very, very well. Really clean at the bottom. So they were actually fun to watch yesterday as well.
We got Joe in the chat just letting us know he's here to watch Double J, Jess Joy from Schenectady. So Joe, thanks for letting us know. Yeah, Madison Stifler was the tournament MVP at Team Match Games.
Okay.
So that was my first opportunity to see Wright State, as well as Ashlyn Stallings. So the two-hander for Wright State, who made the all-tournament team essentially at that event, and just over the last 2 days at the Lehigh.
Absolutely.
Finished 4th.
So we are getting into the back half of this first game.
Kind of taking a look around, you don't necessarily see any team
Really killing it.
really going too crazy. That was the one thing we had on the men's side here was William Patterson shot 12:02 the first game out of the gates, which averaging 240 is going to loosen up the arm swing a little bit. So they built a big lead out of the gates because only 2 other teams were plus, and they were right at even in 19 over. So to go 200 over in game number 1 was pretty impressive, and just oh wow, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really clean, not messing around. Got a little interesting. They actually dropped to second place by the 4th game, but it was a fun stat that I started to think about, and I don't know if I'm sure it's happened before, but Coach Greg Hatzasavage was telling Bruce, who joined us on the live stream, that he was pretty sure that was the first time the school had ever had a 6 or a 5-game block where they rolled an 800, a 900, 1,000, 1,100, and 1,200.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, that's something to note.
Yes,
I don't know if I would be super excited about it, but I guess at the end of the day, you're going to be pretty even. Yeah, you'd be even, right?
They ended up
8, 9, 10. Yeah, you'd be even.
So they were plus. And still in the lead. They got back to the lead over Whitewater in the final game because that's when the 1100 happened. So the bookends are really strong. That middle part was a little sketchy.
A little trouble, but I've never even thought about that, but yeah. A lot of red up on the scoreboards. I'm noticing a lot of red, a lot of splits.
Well, I feel throughout our collegiate endeavors so far this season, 36 feet is probably the shortest pattern we've definitely seen at an event so far.
Okay.
So generally, when you get to most tier ones, it seems like the tournament directors select, something kind of in the medium range. You see 39, 40, 41 feet. Obviously, that allows for multiple angles. But 36 was definitely, when I saw it for the men's clear, that was a really big, oh my. Because we usually don't see that variety. Obviously, over the course of an entire collegiate season, these teams are bowling, 10, 12 events. We're not necessarily at all of them, so we don't know what they're bowling on at those events. But, yeah, that was a very interesting pattern length, and I think it showed in what we saw in how teams kind of played it, because we didn't necessarily, you think 36 feet, that's going to push teams farther out to, around first arrow. And we never really got there. Even when we kind of had some of the stronger teams in the field start off on the fresh, we saw a few players there. It didn't transition that way to where, teams were continually out there, really making a spot to throw to and open them up. It seemed like a lot of teams still kind of stay closer to the track area, and which made it very difficult down the stretch there over the course of all the wear and tear of the block. So I think the scoring pace actually may end up being a little bit higher, with the women probably playing a little bit closer in general. So I'm hoping to see a spot kind of open up and take advantage of that, and then they'll have a spot to throw to without necessarily the variety of men's teams kind of all over the place, where you have teams on first arrow, teams on third arrow, teams on fourth arrow, and they got very squirrely. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Girls tend to play the patterns a little bit closer to what's out there, just because the less of a rev rate, I will say. And if they know how to read the pattern at all and understand the way it, what it looks like on paper, it should be able to get them in the right spot. So their coaches obviously would be a big help in that sense. But yeah, they're going to be a little straighter. And you have guys crossing at every arrow. It can create such a mess when you get just past the mid lane, and they'll create like a weird hang spot that you don't want, that you have to get around, so it can be a little bit messy. But just with the girls being a little bit more direct, I'm hoping that they're going to be a little bit higher scoring overall, and obviously in relative terms. But we'll see how many can make their spares, because at this point, team games, every pin counts. Just got to get every pin you can. So. So a good game right now going for Schenectady's third bowler. I flip back to my handy-dandy notes. Gina Voris.
All right, Gina.
Open spare four-bagger, spare double. So she's going to enter the 10th frame with the chance to shoot 240. Her team's struggling a bit, but she's definitely a bright spot in the lineup.
And for Schenectady, a community college, so just 2-year programs essentially for the Royals. So a team that was at the ITCs 2 years ago in 2017, they advanced out of the Stratford sectional with some talented players like Lauren Piotrowski, who now bowls for Pikeville. So definitely a little bit tougher sometimes for the CCs to be able to keep the teams consistent and strong throughout that, but it's nice to see some big games here out of the gate for the Royals. I know their men's team had 4 players, so we're at a bit of a disadvantage, but still out here, still doing their thing. And the ever popular 2, 4, 5, 7, 10.
Okay.
For Robert Morris here.
It's an interesting lead.
Perfect conversion, though.
I mean, if you're going to leave it.
Now, Shannon, I'll admit that I have left that before.
I can say I don't think that I have.
Well,
I don't think that I have. I'm not going to say that I haven't. I have many, many years of bowling in my belt. But I don't think I've left that one. And that was to stay clean, I will say, because she went spare 5-bagger.
Yes.
Spare strike and left that random conversion set of pins in the 9th frame. So she has a chance of shooting, what, 248, I believe. My eyes are not playing tricks on me.
You are correct, 248 out there. Same max score as Gina has 3-spot for Schenectady. But the Eagles are finding a little momentum here late in the game, starting to settle in. The defending ITC champion and winner here at the Keystone Quaker.
You can hear Pikeville in the background.
Yes, I just heard the
father.
The father drop in at the end there.
I don't know whose dad he is, but he's very, very excited. And I think he's literally watched every single ball go down the lane.
Shout out to all the parents this week.
The snack bringers, the drink bringers.
I was going to say, the one thing, though, here we have less periscopes.
Yeah, this is the first one I've seen. I don't even think I saw one yesterday. But there was also a little, I don't know, it was set up just a little bit different. It didn't seem like you really needed to be super up high yesterday.
It was a little more elevated there versus here we just have the one step from where we're sitting at to
the bowlers area.
Where the bowlers are at, so.
Yeah, there was like an extra row of seats and everything, so created a little bit of a difference, but yeah, not very many periscopes.
That was a very cool center. I liked the layout. Obviously, having wood lanes, it's going to be a little bit of an older center, but definitely had a great feel, a great personality to it. If a center can have a personality,
you like it?
I felt very at home when I walked in there. So.
It is very, it's old school in a sense. It's very homey, I will say. It reminds me actually of the center that I grew up bowling in. If it had above ground ball returns, it would have been like exact. But even like the bench seating that was behind the bowlers area, then they had the bench seating in the bowlers area, very, very similar to one of the two centers, I should say, I grew up bowling in. And it was good, though. The tournament staff was great. The bowling center staff was great. They were on it. No issues, but shout out to everybody who makes these tournaments happen. So we are in the 10th frame on 27 and 28. Let me see how these girls can finish up. And just from the looks of it, I'm going to say your top two after game one are probably going to be Robert Morris, Illinois, and Indiana Tech.
Indiana Tech, one pair off to our left.
Nice 4-bagger for Robert Morris's leadoff bowler entering the 10th frame. Megan McCunovich. She was pretty clutch the last 2 days as well. She bowled well at the other tournament, so.
For RMU, obviously we've mentioned they are the defending ITC champions. That came down to the final shot, needing a double in the 10th frame of the deciding game to collect the win, and they lost some of that veteran leadership that they had on that team. Courtney Ermish was the player throwing the strikes down the stretch in the 5 spot. Brittany Brown as well, a very strong player who both of them have now used up all their eligibility. So that's always a tough thing and we see teams take different transitions to basically how they come back from having, 2 or 3 strong players who are upperclassmen who are going to, move on, graduate. And, but we can see some of the pieces still there from that team and see some of the folks who are younger players then now stepping up to kind of bring in the next era of players for RMU.
definitely important to learn from your upperclassmen and take it in. To obviously continue the successful natures of your programs, so that there should never really be a lull period where you're like, oh, we were really great for 1 or 2 years and then we lost a bunch of people and then we weren't so great. It's like super important to really take that in and be able to learn from them and capitalize on it. I have to say, I'm torn about the teams that have not enough people to fill a roster.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this yesterday, and max score for a team that has 3 bowlers in Baker format is 150, and that's if they strike every shot. But their max score in this particular setting is 600, and it's like they're automatically going to be down 400 at least. And they say it's because you got to give them the chance to be in this environment and learn, and I get it, but I just think mentally it's got to be a little draining.
Oh, I would imagine absolutely knowing that there's really not an opportunity to go out and win the event.
Yeah.
Or to put yourself in position to really move up spots, or have a good team game to jump 2 spots in the standings or something like that, just because it leaves you in a tough spot for sure. So for those programs, hopefully doing what they can to build a roster in the upcoming years. And
I mean, I love the idea that they have the chance to bowl and that they have the opportunity to go to bowl for a program, but at the same time, it's got to be just draining. It's kind of draining watching it, just because I feel for them. It's like I want to lace up and help them at this point. I have 2 years of eligibility left, but I don't know. I wouldn't have imagined coming out and bowling 4 days in a row and not having enough bowlers to field a full team. So Gina Voris of Schenectady finishes with 236.
very nice.
While Megan Rakunovich finishes with 223. She's the leadoff for Robert Morris. And now Ronnie Dreyfus is stepping up. Her max score at this point, 248.
Fresh off the ever popular 2-4-5-7-10 conversion.
Yes.
I picked it up too, and it's actually
Make sure we put that in there.
I just want to throw that out there. It's you got a lot of pins helping you in that situation. If you just get left of the 2 pin, you're just gonna
You're gonna throw something at the 10.
Something's gonna get over there. So it's at that point it's similar to like the chances of making a washout.
Yeah, that's true.
Just slightly farther away. And tough break there with a 7-9. Hey. Indiana Tech got to 9-14 this game. They're already wrapped up with game number 1.
Muskegon finishing with 739. Schenectady finishes with a max score of 832. 833 if she spares and strikes.
I believe so. I still haven't got totally used to the scoring system yet.
I should know this scoring system even better, just because the bowling center that I work at part-time has the Cubica scoring system like this. So.
But for RMU, definitely out of the gates, going to hold on to that top spot.
Absolutely.
Still a chance to get to 1,000 and change here.
Definitely fueled by Ronnie Dreyfus and Megan Rakunovich. And even their anchor bowler, actually, has a decent game going.
Just the one open so far can still get to 213.
Danielle Chupp, yeah. So 8:20 for Schenectady, 7:39 for Muskegon. We are waiting on the last few bowlers for Robert Morris and Wright State to step up.
What's Coach Fleck doing up there?
I can't quite tell, but he's a very excitable guy. He gets into it.
That he does. Former Coach of the Year. So Shannon, we have Ashlyn Stallings here. One of the couple of two-handers in the USBC collegiate ranks. How do you feel about that? We're starting to see a few more two-handers on the women's side come up. Do you expect to see more of that as we continue on here, looking ahead to the future?
I will say, the first time I saw her throw a shot on Friday, I thought she Tom Doherty'd it. I literally thought she just didn't have a thumb on the ball. I was like, wait, what just happened? Because I caught it right at the end, and I didn't see her left arm, so I couldn't tell that she had it in front of her. But, I mean, there are some people that look very, very natural throwing the ball two-handed. And there are some people that do not look very natural throwing the ball two-handed. And I have to say, of the two that I've seen, she probably looks the most natural. I anticipate seeing more of that. I don't think it's going to be a huge turn the way it is on the men's side of bowling, but I definitely anticipate the girls that are, I hate to say, a little bit more athletic. I have a feeling you're going to see a little bit more of that. But like I said, some people just don't look very natural. Like, it doesn't seem like the movement is natural. Like, if I try to throw the ball two-handed, no. It's about me throwing the ball left-handed at this point. But I saw her throw a shot, and I was like, whoa. And Danielle and I both had to, like, wait for her to get up again and be like, oh, no, she's two-handed. So I think she's only the second one that I've seen so far.
Yeah, there's been, I think I've seen maybe 3 players who have been two-handed on the women's side so far this season. And, yeah, for Ashlyn, it's a very fluid motion, and I think that's a big key, because obviously with two-handed bowling, you have to be able to generate ball speed. That is the number one key with that. And she's able to do that. She's able to repeat shots pretty well. And, you know, in 2 events that we've seen her so far, she's recorded 2 top 10 finishes individually. So she's finding a way to get to the pocket, to figure out the pattern. And I'm sure taking advantage of that extra rev rate, too, to be able to get an extra hit or 2 along the way.
Absolutely. You notice the girls that bowled the best overall, I feel, the last 2 days had higher rev rates than the ones that just played super, super straight and just didn't really get on the ball very much. So definitely helped her. The times that I did see her and really, really paid attention to what was happening, I don't think she missed the pocket. So Robert Morris taking the early lead. They are going to shoot 10:46 with a strike here in the fill. And
outside of, I'm not seeing anything. We mentioned 914 from Indiana Tech. Wright State is going to be just a shade under 900, 895, their final score. So right now for the Eagles, they're building a quick 130-pin lead over the field.
Absolutely. So it looks like you're going to be Robert Morris, number 1, followed by Indiana Tech at 914, and then followed by Wright State at 895. Just a quick look around. That's not official or anything, so don't quote me, but just taking a quick look around.
So right now we have 1 additional pair just starting the 10th frame. It looks like we're going to follow suit with what we did here with the men's field and have everyone start at the same time. Did you have that at Jordan as well?
We did, because of the lack of space. They weren't really able to maneuver in the bowling area the way the seats are set up. So they really wanted everybody to wait until they were completely done so that everybody could use the approaches if they needed to move balls. So, which made sense. And, you know, you didn't have a lot of people tripping and falling and whatnot. So it actually worked out well. The girls didn't have to use the concourse, so that the spectators were free to move back and forth on the concourse while the girls stayed in the bowling area and moved around the chairs that way. So
yeah, that was with having, I think we had 30 teams total with 1 JV team here for the men's portion. Yeah, very crowded. It's pretty tight set tee space for folks watching. There's some tables that the players and teams are using to essentially hold Abralon pads, bowling balls, food, all the good stuff. Not a ton of room to maneuver here, but yes, even less there from our setup day basically. Saw it was pretty tight back there, so definitely makes sense. So with that, we have Pikeville and Lawrence Tech finishing up.
And I think I spoke too soon. I think Pikeville is going to be in third. Maybe even fourth, maybe in second. They are at 8:18 with their third bowler on a double right now, heading into the 10th, and their fourth bowler's on a strike heading into the 10th. So right there you have 100 pins you could gain. Their anchor bowler has a spare in the 9th, so ideally that's another 140 pins overall. So they could, with a really good final frame from their third, fourth, and fifth bowlers, they could actually jump Indiana Tech, who shot 914. So I thought they were actually already in the 10th frame when I looked at their score before, but I didn't realize they were a frame behind everyone. My eyes are playing tricks on me.
Actually, I think that was that's Lawrence Tech
Oh,
on
you are
32.
correct. You are correct. My fault. Pikeville is on the left lane right now.
So for Pikeville, they can get to right around 900 if their final three bowlers punch out. But there's the double in the 10th for the third bowler for Lawrence Tech. So definitely in good position to surpass the 900 total. So chance for the Blue Devils to sneak into
the top two spots. Where is Lawrence Tech? Did we discuss that last time?
that is in it's in Michigan somewhere, which is not very specific, but let's see.
I mean, good thing Michigan's not a very small state.
Well, I know it was by, I feel it's in the Detroit area.
Okay.
Because I feel we passed it at Junior Gold this past, or drove by the campus or something like that.
Okay.
But let's just double check.
We'll see how accurate Aaron's memory is.
Southfield, Michigan.
Okay, Highland Park. Oh, I see.
So let's.
He's even pulling up a map. You guys can't see this, but he's pulling up a map right now.
It's by Kirby's Coney Island.
I mean, that helps not at all.
No, it doesn't.
Nope.
Unless.
But it is the Southfield Detroit Hotel, so I'm going to assume. Oh, Farmington Hills. Okay. That's like the Detroit-ish area.
Yeah, it's
northwest of Detroit, but, you know, it's on the hand.
It's between.
The hand is here, and it's
Detroit and Pontiac.
Kind of between the thumb and the first finger.
There we go. Excellent.
That's the very, very scientific way of explaining where things are in Michigan.
Now, I feel they were very adept to the Coney places in that area.
Okay.
A lot of Coney Island, but I felt that was always a New York thing.
I mean, the original Coney Island, absolutely. That is where the Nathan's hot dog contest is every year. I haven't actually been to Coney Island, and I've lived in New York for about 7 years almost. But I haven't been there yet. Maybe I have to venture down during the summertime if I'm ever home.
Our coworker Matt Cannizzaro, a big fan of the hot dog contest, and when we were in Syracuse for the Open Championships in 18, he actually made the trip.
Oh, he did?
To go there and check out the festivities for the hot dog contest.
Okay.
So that was very interesting to hear match reports afterwards. So
that's not a short drive. I mean, I did it to bowl, and then Steve Klumpkin, who's on my nationals team now, that was our companion team at the time when I got to bowl with Sydney. The 1 year I got to bowl with Sydney Brummett. The Masters started the day after we were done with practice, and he was there to bowl. And so his wife, Marcia, who's on my women's nationals team and is also my nationals doubles partner, the Open Championships doubles partner, had flown back to Utah. And then, of course, he made the show. So I got up at 4 a.m., and I picked her up at JFK and drove her the 5 hours to Syracuse so that she could sit on the show and watch Steve bowl. So, yeah, that's not a short drive. That's a lot of driving. But at that time, it wasn't that bad. There wasn't a lot of traffic because it was super, super early in the morning. But it was way cheaper for her to fly to JFK than it was for her to fly into the Syracuse area because that is not a very big airport.
That was a fun 10-day stretch there for Steve. He shot 300 at the Open Championships. He and David Haynes took over the doubles lead.
For a short time, absolutely.
And then Steve making the show at Masters. That was, all in all, that was a very cool few weeks to be a part of and watch and enjoy the show and the great bowling, of course. And
absolutely. And my other Nationals teammate, Alex Hoskins, obviously he bowled against Steve, and at that time Steve was his boss. It was a very interesting dynamic. He had a great turnaround. He had what most would have considered probably a pretty dismal outlook after his first 4 or 5 frames. And I think at that point you either kind of just say, I got none to lose. Loosened up his swing a little bit and just went for it, and he ended up winning the game. So hats off to him. I think he lost to Andrew Anderson in the final.
Yep.
That was a tough one to root for, though, because I'm friends with Andrew. I'm friends with Alex. Obviously, he's on my team. I love Steve. I've known him forever. He not only went to Wichita State, which is where I went to, he also is best friends with someone who I consider a very, very close friend and like family to me, Paul Wolf, whose mom, Fran Deacon, used to run the women's tour. So lots of connections there. So that was a really tough tournament for me to root for people because I'm like, I want you all to win. I don't want to have to say, I want you to win more than you.
We can share the win.
Yes. So
everybody tied.
Pikeville stepping up right now. They are at 856.
I can get to 869, I believe, with the spare conversion and a strike on the fill. Looks like 945 or 8 or
948, I believe, for Lawrence Tech.
So they're going to move into second.
Did not look like it was what Jessica Wolf wanted to do. She gets 1 on the spare, but 857 honestly is still fourth, fifth, about fifth, yeah, right in the middle.
And definitely still early as we move into game number 2. But plenty of time to make up some pins. Once again, we saw it with the men's competition here that an early lead was not taken away, but saw a 230 pin lead basically shrink to being in second place. So definitely a lot of time to go for all these teams as they get comfortable here on this 36-foot condition. Now they're ready to move over to game 2. So for game 2, we are going to have Walsh and Wright State on 27 and 28. So we'll get to see the Raiders one more time. Indiana Tech and Robert Morris, Pennsylvania on 29 and 30. So we do have 2 different Robert Morris RMUs. So Illinois and PA.
2 different schools.
2 different
just the
schools.
Same name. And I will work on lineups while they are moving.
All right, folks, as we settle into game 2 here at the Roto-Grip Keystone Quaker Classic for the women's division. Once again, a big thank you to joining us here on BowlTV.com. We're going to take a quick break as we wait for our teams to get ready for game 2. So everyone hang tight and enjoy the sounds of college bowling at its finest.
That's not it.
Now into game 2 here, day number 1, but kind of day number 3 of the 2019 Rotogroup Keystone Quaker Classic. This is day 1 for women's competition at this event. We do have an update after game number 1. As expected, Robert Morris, Illinois, 1,046, up by 98 over Lawrence Tech at 948. Indiana Tech 914, Wright State 895, Pikeville 857, rounding out the top 5. Schenectady CC at 820, Muskingum 739, Robert Morris PA 652, Hudson Valley 557, and Walsh 381 in 10th place. Here on our featured pairs, 27 through 30. We're going to see Wright State once again along with Walsh, and then Indiana Tech and Robert Morris, Pennsylvania.
For Walsh, obviously shortened roster, only 3 bowlers. Addison Starr, Katie Goodman, and Emily Kiss are doing what they can to show up for Walsh. They are obviously bowling with Wright State right now. Brianna Jesse, Jenna Goodman, Brianne McKnight, Ashlyn Stallings, and Maddie Stifler. And on 29 and 30, making sure I have my information correct, Indiana Tech, Alexandra Ross, Lakin Edwards, Brittany Kinney, Marissa Carey, and Brianna Marquise are on the board for the Warriors. And for Robert Morris University of Pennsylvania, the Colonials, we have, it's on my other sheet, Megan Shepley, Danielle Long, Cammie Nickel, Tatiana Johnson, and Taylin Cumberland.
So for Indiana Tech, they were within viewing range for us, 9:14 in the opener. For Marissa Carey, who absolutely dominated the last event, was 158, I believe, out of the gates.
Yeah, she opened in the 10th. She struggled a little bit that game.
And, you know, as she was waiting to come over here, saw a little bit of frustration. And obviously, you know, the mindset always is, you know, every day is a brand new event, even if it's the same event or multiple day event, whatever it may be. But when you've just absolutely dominated an event and then you end up switching places, obviously you saw the shape, you saw the pattern, your ball was going through the pins the right way. But, you know, when you catch that adversity after such a strong showing, what is the first thing that goes through your mind as a competitor that, hey, I just left this place, I couldn't miss, all of a sudden, wait, I don't have that anymore?
Well, I think at this point in time, she definitely needs to celebrate the fact that she bowled so well the last 2 days, but also remember that this is a different center, it's a different pattern, and it's a different lane in general. It's not wood, it's synthetic. So you kind of have to switch your mindset and be mature enough to see that and to understand that, and that you can take that high that you were on from bowling so well for 2 days and kind of try and spin it as best you can. It is a new tournament, it's a new day. Every pin counts, so you have to understand that if you're not striking, you have to spare. So, you know, I think she split maybe once or twice that game, but I think she also had some actual makeable spare misses, so that, and which isn't anything like what we've seen for 2 days from her. So I don't know if that's something that happens to her from time to time, but she definitely, I mean, as a competitor for me, I have to say, all right, you know what, the last 2 days, as great as they were, they don't count, they don't matter anymore. Now we're in a new day, new tournament, and I have to make it happen right now with what I'm on, and I need to figure it out for my team. So her team obviously as a whole, didn't bowl that well. They bowled okay, but, you know, this is the time when you really have to bear down and grind it out and make good shots and get every pin you can. So.
And they certainly know essentially the opposite of that from getting out to a big lead and basically getting to experience a victory lap during the position round at the Lehigh Valley, is that how quickly, you know, sometimes a tournament can get away from a team, especially seeing Robert Morris have a strong start, Lawrence Tech ahead of them as well. But we'll see if they can settle in here. This is our first opportunity to see him here at Rose Bowl. But for Marissa Carey, early double out of the gate, so it looks like she
figured something out, maybe.
she took her moment, which is what you need to do, and kind of, all right, game over, done.
I mean, hey, we're all human. We all have to have that moment. Sometimes we just have to fry for a second and just kind of get it out of our system and then come back. I'm guilty of it. There are times when I will struggle, and I just need like 2 minutes to myself just to kind of let it go and come back with a new mindset and say, all right, let me do what I do best. Make good shots, hit the pocket, keep the ball in play. Those are the things that I do. So I think I wouldn't doubt you see a slight change from her this particular game, and maybe a little bit more focus. She's a junior, I believe, so this is just a great foundation year to what I would assume is going to be a very strong senior year for her.
Yeah, it was a second-team All-American last season for the Warriors, and to mention this team is a lot of familiar names, as we mentioned. Lakin Edwards, a new addition. We had, I believe, a 286 game as well on the way to being finishing second to her teammate, but had a big game of her own.
Yes, she did. She shot it in game 2 or 3. I want to say maybe game 2, because then they had another game, and then I believe they were on the live stream pair for game 4 of the first day. So I want to say Lakin shot that game 2. But yeah.
There's our tournament director, Fred, working hard. He's selling raffle tickets. They did this at the during the men's competition as well. He's got the ball driller's apron, and he's using that for tickets and the different varieties that they're selling. So that's
it's pretty smart.
That is. He's
trying to make it easy on himself. He doesn't tear apart a bunch of tickets while he's trying to sell them. So that makes sense. I like it.
I like it. Yes, he's very resourceful.
He is. He was talking to me yesterday about how long these tournaments have been going on and how he wanted to bring college bowling to this area. And so these tournaments used to be contested, from what I remember him telling me, down in the Atlantic City area at the Showboat and at another center, I want to say. So he really wanted to bring them up here. And so him and his son, Patrick, were able to bring these tournaments up to the Allentown area and have been going strong for the last 8 to 10 years maybe here. This tournament, I want to say, has been going on, I think he said, for about 26 years.
Yep, this is 26th edition for the Keystone Quaker Classic. I believe the Lehigh, as far as having both of these in this area, is a little bit newer. Just looking at, I feel, in talking to Patrick at one point, he said that event actually took place at a different time of the season, but they have switched that to have both of them, and then obviously getting Tier 1's status for both of those events, and giving teams the opportunity to bowl essentially 4 events in a row is, or not four events. That'd be a lot of bowling, but to bowl 2 events at the same time for the same trip, get those all important ranking points as well. Them being worth more here at Tier 1 events. But yeah, you can actually see Fred in your photo in the red or in your picture frame in the red shirt. So, so big thank you to Fred and Patrick for their dedication
to collegiate bowling.
Both have received the Gordon Teagan Service Award for their efforts. Pat in 2014, Fred in 2017. So very cool to have a father and son receive that award for everything they do. The family pro shop is here at Rose Bowl. It's called Our Family Pro Shop. So they are a bowling family through and through. And some super good folks.
Yes.
It's funny. I got here way too early this morning, but I knew this was starting an hour later, but it was still one of those things where like I've conditioned myself to wake up at a certain time so far this week. So it's like, because even our setup day was fairly early because they had a tournament here at 10 o'clock. So we actually got here at 8 a.m. on setup day, which is very early for what we usually do for setup day. And so I was here, and Fred was already here. He was setting up the table right next to us for check-in and scores and everything. And just joking around, he was like, so you got my protege the first 2 days. Now you're going to have the real thing. I was like, that's fantastic.
He's very sweet.
Struggles out of the gate here, though, for Indiana Tech. Few opens up there already. Just 2 of them being splits, according to the red numbers up there.
Yes. Lots of red. And a couple missed makeables, unless the first shot for the second bowler was a washout, which, yes, is makeable, but a little tougher on the makeable side. Let's see if their third bowler, which I believe is Brittany Kenny, unless it's Lakin Edwards, which I'm almost positive it's Brittany Kenny, can get back on it after going spare, open. Oh, and she splits. I spoke too soon.
4-6 sneaking up there for Brittany. Carey will be up next for Indiana Tech. Shannon, for you, you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but a pretty unique situation with the, and actually this is the only event of our live stream schedule here for 2019-2020 that kind of has this setup with 2 tournaments happening at the same time at different centers. We have different centers, but it's always the same tournament, just the one tournament going on. So for you, when you kind of came in, we had a little bit later start. I knew you were driving in that day, so I'm like, hey, Jordan Lanes would be a good place to start. You've elected to come and follow the women once again. Just kind of talk about being able to see teams compete for essentially 2 events, now 3 straight days, getting to see kind of the same teams. What's it like being able to kind of get familiar with these programs?
I think you can definitely start to see their strengths and weaknesses if you're going to follow them, multiple days. I thought very heavily about staying and watching the boys bowl to see how they attack that pattern and being on wood lanes. But then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to get the opportunity to actually follow these same exact teams, and it is a smaller field, so it's a little bit nicer because I can really focus on almost all of the teams. But you can start to see how the girls stack up against each other and what their strengths and weaknesses are depending on what they're bowling on. So I don't know. It was kind of a no-brainer when I really put it all in front of me and said, all right, really, truly what makes the most sense. But it is interesting to start to see the girls that can, manage the differences between the 2 centers and focus and get the job done. So I'm going to be very interested to see who takes the MVP honors of this tournament after watching Indiana Tech's bowlers all bowl so strongly the last 2 days. Obviously, out of the gate right now, I'm going to make a bet on Robert Morris, Illinois, having that same type of success that Indiana Tech had the last 2 days overall. But you never know. Five team games A lot can happen. But normally once you find it, you kind of figure it out. And if you know how to transition the correct way off of those shots, then I think you're always going to be successful. So
Well, I certainly appreciate the company. So
I did tell Daniel, I was like, well, I'll see if Aaron wants any company. We'll see. You guys are always kind of by yourselves, and it can be kind of lonely for sitting for hours and hours on end. So I figured, you know what, we'll see what happens and make a little trip over. But luckily, the two centers are super close together.
they are. That was a very nice nice thing on that. So it always comes in when we have multiple centers. It's like, because at team match games, they were a little bit farther apart. It was probably a good 20, 25-minute drive from the men's center to the women's center over there in the, I guess on the Illinois side of St. Louis, or the St. Louis area. But yeah, very, very nice and close here. Very cool community in general. This is my first time in this area, and through a little exploring over the past 3-4 days. It's
Hey, you guys went to Scranton, I saw.
we went to Scranton.
The little office-esque tour.
It seemed very similar to this, though, as far as kind of like if you kind of go around the downtown and everything, and like kind of the buildings, and kind of they're all from that certain era. But Daniel is a much bigger fan of The Office than I am, and I really like The Office a lot. But Daniel is like one of those guys who like knows what happened in season 3, episode 6 without having to watch it type guy.
He's like a Rain Man of The Office.
So he is he was a little more geeking out about it than I was. So
Okay.
it was still cool to see some of the sites. The one interesting part was the one pub that they always go to when they in the show, Poor Richard's Pub, was actually located in a bowling center there.
Okay.
Which was different than in the show, because when you were there, it was kind of like a standalone building. But it was part of a bowling center, and then we ended up finding out that, or after the fact, or as we were checking out the bowling center, we didn't look everywhere, because they had like at the low end of the house, there was a like laser tag and a few other things, a few other activities to do. But they had a plaque of all the 800s. And so we're looking through, just because over the course of this career, you get to meet a lot of people from places all over the country. So it's like, see if any names pop up. And Mike Marcus.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's from the Scranton area, or part of Pennsylvania.
It turns out he was working at the pro shop there, and that was the one place we didn't check out while we were there, was the pro shop. So I was like, because came in, said hi for a minute, because Daniel posted about it, and then Mike chimed in on that. He's like, you guys were here? You didn't even walk in the pro shop? It's like, the one time we don't do that. Someone we know is actually there.
Yeah, I bowl most of the tournaments. If I go upstate or Jersey, anywhere like that, Mike bowls a lot of the local stuff. So.
Five for 5 in the 5th for Indiana Tech. Brianna Marquis finishing things off for the Warriors, looking to get a little momentum going.
Absolutely, going in the second half of the game. They have a lot of red the frame before, so stop the bleeding. Let's see if we can keep on the strike train.
And that was an interesting thing I heard as well from Wisconsin Whitewater's coach Sean Walker, was their high game in the traditional black was 11-12, I want to say, in game 3, and it was kind of similar to what we saw with Robert Morris, where all of a sudden there were a lot of strikes at the end of the game. And in talking to Sean, he was like, we hit the pocket 6 times in the first 5 frames, not just strike, like hit the pocket that many times.
That's bad.
And
I don't care who you are, that's bad.
And he's like, and then we figured it out. So
okay.
And then all of a sudden it was strikes for
days.
for days for the rest of that game. Basically, everyone's got 3-4 in a row, and obviously a bunch of nice games to get 100 over.
After a start like that, absolutely.
But we'll see, because there was kind of a lull game where everyone just kind of dropped, and it was game 2. Obviously, in the women's field, the rev rate's a little bit different, so they're going to break down a little bit differently. But I'll be curious to see if we kind of maintain pace. Right now, it's not looking like, once again, anyone's really getting anything going just yet, but we'll see if we have another late rally to kind of, as everyone gets comfortable on the pair. And in talking about, talked a little bit earlier about some of the Baker issues on 27-28, and speaking with Coach Greg at William Patterson after the fact, he didn't realize, he just came back and after they had already won, he's like, well, they're up 180. He's like, well, we made that at least a little interesting for you. I'm like, well, yeah, you guys did. We appreciate that. But it was, so I let him know about lane 27, just the super low scoring pace it had throughout it. And he's like, wow, I wouldn't have realized that there had only been, 200 games on that lane the entire Baker set to that point, because he basically said everything they had seen throughout the day was not what they saw in 27. Mm-hmm. And he's like, wow, that's, I'm so glad we only hit that pair for Baker. And I'm like, why is that? You'd have a whole game to figure it out. He's like, but that would be the thing. He's like, if you caught this pair in a traditional game, every time you throw a good shot on 28, and if they're playing that differently and you don't figure it out or figure out why, he's like, if you make a good shot on 27 and then it doesn't react the way you think it is, then you start thinking, second-guessing yourself, maybe making changes you shouldn't, or conversely, if you actually find the pocket on 27, you try to replicate on 28, and that doesn't work. And he's like, you end up just losing the entire game because the lanes end up playing so differently. And it's like, that's a great point.
I mean, it's an interesting point. At the same time, I would think at this level, you realize that you would play those two lanes separately, and you're not trying to replicate one or the other. You have to be able to read the lane and know that it's different. There's a reason why you can throw two different balls on a pair. You can do many different things, and the best bowlers in the world are able to see that and understand that. So I see his point. And I understand your point of saying, well, yeah, but you'd have a whole game to see it. I would almost want the whole game to see it, because then you really kind of get a feel for how it's playing that different. If you're only getting a couple shots, any bowler's only getting a couple shots because they hit it in Baker versus hitting an entire game, they're not going to really truly see and understand the characteristics of the lane as it is, so that if they come back to it or for some reason they hit it again, they're going to be able to understand that, oh, it's hooking 3-1 earlier, or it's longer for this reason, so, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So I see both sides of it, but I definitely think at this level, you definitely should be able to see those differences and understand them with your ball motion and make the appropriate changes and know not to mix them up. 28 is this is what 28 is doing for me. This is what I'm seeing. This is how we're playing it. But 27 is a whole arrow different. So we see it a lot on the women's tour. I want to say at the Nebraska stop at Sun Valley Lanes, when you went down towards like 1 and 2, 3 and 4 this past season, it was like night and day different than every other pair in the house. And you kind of had to play for that. And, it wasn't like, obviously if you didn't hit it, that was great, but it wasn't always the case. I think I hit 1 and 2. And it did. It played completely different, and you had to play it, but you couldn't mix that up with the fact that you're then going to be changing and, going to another pair and remembering that it was just that pair from what everybody's telling you, from all the ball reps are seeing, even what you may have seen on your own. Well, Indiana Tech kind of trying here. First bowler had a double, left a 6 count, but she spared it, and then everybody on the team has doubled after her. So they are doing what they can to make up as many pens as possible. Robert Morris, Illinois, a little bit over to our right. They are, just about even with pace. They're really just not crazy, nothing major happening, but doing what they can.
Shannon, we do have a question in the chat from Chris for you. Curious if you will be participating in Team USA trials.
I am not, Chris. I am not. That's a lot right now. I've actually never bowled team trials. I get asked a lot as to why I don't. There's a few reasons, but I've actually never bowled team trials. Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it just doesn't work for me. I know the last couple years they have been in January. Tennille always emails me and says, "Why aren't you bowling? You need to bowl." So maybe 1 year I will venture out and do it. But as of right now, no. I talked to JT about being out there to cover it, but it was just too close to the end of this year and trying to get a lot of stuff done. It was just, there was a lot going on. It was going to be too many moving parts for me to really put together the way I needed to. So Brady the Beagle would be very, very upset with me if I was gone for another week.
Can't have Brady upset.
We cannot. He is he's living the life. He's living his best life right now with my friends for this 4 days. You know, has a yard to run in, couches to lay on, lots of walks to be had. But yeah, so no, not this year, but you never know. Maybe in the future. Before I get too old. I can't make it through that many days.
Team trials will be featured here on Bowl TV starting January 3rd, going through the 7th. Always, it's been the kickoff to the new season, 2020 coming up. So last year during team trials, Emil Williams Jr., a very bold gentleman. We were talking about personal bowling, and he said he was going to bowl 4 tournaments in 2019.
And did he?
No. he bowled the Open Championships, and that was it.
Oh, he did? Who does he bowl with?
Well, as employees, we have our we're allowed to bowl, and we get to essentially go out with other employees at the Open Championships. So we kind of go in different groups. So we'll just say Emil doesn't like talking about his experience this past year because it did not go well for him.
I mean, he still thinks he can beat me, and I'm like, but you don't ever bowl.
What?
So let's go. I keep challenging him. So gotta go. Get a little friendly wager going.
Yeah, so I've been sure to point that out a few times throughout the course of this season. Hey, how's that tournament list coming up?
You only got about 2 days left to get those other 3 tournaments in. You better get on it, Emil.
I mean, he's got an excuse this year, though. You know, Trey's taking up some of his time a little bit. Little Trey.
Hey, he can venture to the bowling center with you. He's not walking yet.
That's a fair point. Have to get those junior adult tournaments coming up.
Right.
Next few years for Mr. Williams, but. Now, Chris, I like where you're going with this. He says that's the next pay-per-view event on Bowl TV, Shannon versus Emil.
Yes, I love it.
See, Emil's very ambitious with it, though, because like there were a few stops this year early in the PWBA Tour season where he actually brought bowling equipment with.
Oh.
But never bowled. So I was trying to make that into a segment. I'm like, Emil, you should like have a thing where you know, either you like bowl a Baker game with one other PWBA Tour player or bowl against them, or you know, just something weekly. And it's like, you can get some reps in then because you want to bowl more. And it's like, you know, have it kind of a loose feel, little trash talking, but kind of an interview while it's all going on as well. And it's like, I was pushing for that. So maybe this next season Emil will be ready
see
to
if we
throw
can
a few
do like a on the fresh. So see if they'll like run the lanes one time, strip and oils on the fresh, and see how he fares versus how we all bowl on that same exact pattern. I like it.
I do too.
I like it. We need to put a plan together for this. We need to get it going. Definitely. We could totally, and I could actually I could do that against him for the tournaments that I don't bowl. I could totally do that.
I like this. I like where this is going.
Be like, heads up, one game. Who's winning?
Take that, Emil.
Hopefully he's enjoying his time at home. I'm wondering how cold it is right now in Chicago. It's been pretty warm in the Midwest from what I understand. So like St. Louis and Kansas City have been pretty warm. It was 40-ish degrees the last few days in New York. We've had a very mild end to the year, which is not going to say it sucks because it really does not. Makes travel a little bit easier. But it is raining actually right now, I believe, here. It was starting to sprinkle when I came in this morning, and I looked out a few minutes ago, and it looks like the ground is rather wet. So we shall see.
Well, in Northwest Indiana, it's actually 59 degrees, which is unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
Which is not too far away from about 30 minutes outside of Chicagoland. So
got it.
So Emil's having himself a nice little weather day. Actually, the weather hasn't. I was a little concerned coming in. Obviously, Pennsylvania in December could potentially raise some issues with snow and colder weather, but it's been fairly warm. Haven't even had to brush off the car or.
It's true.
Or knock any ice off the windows or anything like that. So I've been very happy about that.
It definitely has been a little easier travel-wise. I got delayed coming out of the St. Louis area during team match games. They said because of weather in New York, which was a little weird. Because we didn't have any snow yet, but I think because the storm had moved through like the night before, they had a lot of like backed up traffic, so we were delayed an hour or two leaving from St. Louis to get back to LaGuardia because LaGuardia was on a ground stop trying to get. They wouldn't let us leave St. Louis because they didn't want us to. They didn't want to be very congested trying to get into LaGuardia. So LaGuardia only has a couple runways for where it's set up. So if they shut one runway down, then they have to really like reschedule everybody in a really weird way and keep people at bay to try and, keep the traffic from being crazy, much like cars on the road. Everything about New York is traffic. But, yeah, so I was actually happy. It was relatively warm driving over here on the 27th and hit a few spots of sprinkles, but nothing major, so I'll take it. All right, so Indiana Tech made up a few pins. Unfortunately, a missed makeable spare in the for their third bowler, which is Brittany Kinney, unless they've changed the lineup and I'm not aware. She's had a rough go at it. Spare, open, 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 double, open. This is when I would possibly looking to substitute her out. I don't know if she's just not seeing it. Or just not maybe executing the best shots, but I would say it's early enough and this team is strong enough that they could probably throw in one of their other bowlers right now and maybe until she kind of figures it out. Or
I think that's definitely one of the tough parts of being the student athlete in that situation and being a player who's had success is being able to really make an honest assessment of a situation like that. And I'm sure all of us feel that as a competitor, okay, we're seeing the shape, we're figuring this out, we're just going to throw it better, whatever it may be. But just there's some days where a team or player just doesn't have it. And, when the coach, if the coach is thinking that, I'm sure there's going to be a conversation. There's going to be like, hey, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
And you don't want to hurt the team, certainly. But you have to have that honest assessment. It's looking like Pikeville's putting together a solid game over on 34 right now. Looks like their first two bowlers have thrown together a few strikes.
Absolutely. Spare 4-bagger for their leadoff, and spare 5-bagger for their second bowler. I'm looking and I only see 2, 3, it looks like 3 opens as a team through 7 frames. So that's huge. That's going to be a nice little boost for them after only shooting 850 the first game. I'm sure this is going to be a little morale boost and maybe help them loosen up a little bit going into game number 3 midway through the day.
So we do catch Pikeville today during, let's see, game 5. Oh, and game 3.
No, it's like game 3,
okay,
it looks
there we
like.
go.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Yep.
When I was looking at the schedule earlier, so
We do catch most teams at least twice today, but Pikeville will be on the featured pair, so we'll get to see them. Lauren Pietrowski,
who you said came from
Schenectady. Bowled 2 years there, and was part of the team in 2017 that made it to the ITCs, is having a phenomenal season. Through her first 6 events, I believe she had 4 individual wins, and all 6 were top 5. I know she was a little bit farther back in the standings at the Lehigh, but still I think was top 15 overall. So, I mean, it wasn't actually 15th place, and she was 34 under, so.
Yeah, she had a pretty solid tournament overall.
Keep an eye on Pikeville as we get to the back stretch here. Game 2 of 5 traditional games today for our women's field at the Roto-Grip Keystone Quaker Classic, being held at Rose Bowl in Allentown, Pennsylvania. My name's Aaron Smith, sitting alongside Shannon Sellens. This is our 3rd consecutive day of coverage here from the greater Allentown area between Rose Bowl and Jordan Lanes. Daniel Farish holding down the 4th there. You can also view the men's competition taking place at Jordan Lanes. They're now over at the Lehigh after William Patterson won the Keystone Quaker Classic here at Rose Bowl. Shot there from Wright State. Looking to get a little something going here at the final 2 frames. 9th frame now underway as well on 29 and 30. Robert Morris, PA, and Indiana Tech. Robert Morris, Illinois, the leader after game 1, 1046, 98 pins ahead of Lawrence Tech.
And Lawrence Tech, unfortunately, not having the same success they had the first game. A little rough over there. A lot of makeable spares missed, but our leadoff bowler was trying to give him a chance. She went double spare open 3-bagger, 4-bagger. But unfortunately, she opened in the 9th, so her max score now is 221, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a couple bright spots. But in team bowling like this, you really got to have at least 3 of your bowlers going in that direction. The other 2 can struggle slightly, but if you have more people struggling, this sounds so obviously Captain Obvious-esque, but if you have more people struggling than, you know, really performing, there's nothing you can really do about it. No matter how good those other 2 bowlers bowl, you really have to have at least 3 of your bowlers kind of pushing to get there, keeping the ball in play. But
yeah, and that's amplified even more once they hit the Baker portion, is how quickly those frames can get away from you. And yeah, if there's I mean, even with a, if you got your 4 and 5 are locked in 100%, if most strikes in a row you're going to get in the middle of the game is 2, and you're not filling frames around that, there's going to be no opportunity when the ball gets back into the 4 or 5 players' court to go up there, throw the final few strikes to get to 200, 210, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's one of those things. It gets amplified the more you're out here. Is that a lot of teams give away a lot of pins with spare shooting. It's
a ton.
it's very, very obvious to see that that is always the one thing that can be worked on and improved. And for instance, at our last event, when we started to talk about the idea of having some type of clean team game award, because it just it's so very rare out here that it's amazing to think of how many pins over the course of so many games end up not getting collected.
Oh, yeah. And we talked a little bit about that yesterday, Danielle and I. At what point do you look at your technique or your ability and say, okay, I need to do something different? Clearly, hooking at spares is not working for me. You're barely missing 10 pins because the ball's hooking at the last second. At what point do you say, maybe I should try a spare ball? Maybe I should try something that it doesn't hook. Let me add a tool that I don't already have into my bag to help me be better. And I still wonder it. It's like, if these girls are coming out and competing week after week after week and they're not showing improvement, it's like, at what point do you say, okay, I need to do something different. I need to make a change in some way. Not only for myself, but for my school. I want to represent them to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm. And that's I think that's a very valid point with that. And there's definitely an accountability on both sides for the coaches and the players to want to improve that, to get to that point where those top teams who we see near the top of the leaderboard at every event, it's not always because they're always locked in and shooting 220 every game. It's that they're minimizing their mistakes along the way and putting themselves in position to take advantage of a 3-bagger to get to 2-teen instead of needing the last 6 to get to 2-0 or 2-teen or something like that, where some folks find themselves in that position.
I mean, I saw it at the U.S. Open this year, and I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I was with you or with Emil when I did it, but somebody made mention of the fact that I grind really, really well, and there were many, many times during the U.S. Open this past June that I had to double somewhere in the middle of the game to get me in contention to shoot 2-0. But a 2-0 at the U.S. Open, I will take every day of the week and twice on Sunday, because those are the most grueling patterns that we bowl on all year. And when I'm grueling and grinding to get to 2-0, other people are grinding to get to 170. And that 30 pins, yes, technically it's only 30 pins, but it can mean gaining what feels like 50 pins on the field. So it's that little bit of like putting yourself in contention and figuring it out and wanting to be better. Some girls definitely have it, and you can see it with the way that they compete. Robert Morris finishing up 993, I believe, is what I'm seeing down there, or 983.
I think 93.
Okay.
Let's see there.
She could have struck out, and they would have shot 10.04, and she went strike 9 spare. I do know that because they were at 954 going into the 10th frame of the last bowler, and she had a strike in the 9th. But I think it's a 9. 993. So another strong game from Robert Morris. 207, 172, 187, 223, 204 for their 5 bowlers. Our streaming pairs right now, just now entering the 10th frame. A better game for Walsh, I will say. They struggled a bit, obviously. Only having 3 bowlers, as we've said, definitely tough. But they've improved from their first game.
Could be 190 for their leadoff player. Just the one open.
doing everything she can do. I told Daniel we need to petition for like director's chairs.
This would be a nice yes. I agree.
He said if I can figure out a way to get them to fold down and fit in the cases. I said, oh, I'm a problem solver. We're going to figure that out.
I like this. It's although I only have 1 pound of, or 1 pound in the live stream case to work with, so it also has to only weigh a pound somehow. So
You only have 1 pound left. Okay.
I've got down to a very good science though, so I know what goes in each bag. I'm very OCD about that stuff anyway. So it works out well for me that like after the first trip or two, I kind of figured out what goes where and then what goes in my personal bag. So now it's a science. So I was very when Emil and I were sharing equipment, basically since we were at the same center in Vegas, I was especially at South Point, because we had all of our equipment on the same table, because we were able to basically have cameras go forward and backward at the same time. It's like, all right, you're gonna have to step away for a second. I just gotta take all my stuff first. I gotta.
You should start tagging it. You need your own little name tags.
It's true. I need color-coded something.
All pink is Emil. All yellow is Aaron.
I like it. It's all mine. You can't have it. If you have to borrow it, you have to give it back.
And Emil is like very meticulous with how he like takes everything down. You have to say, I offer everybody listening. I offer every single tournament to help them break down. And they always tell me no. And I said, well, I'm going to stop offering if that's the case. But you guys are all very different in how you take everything down. Like, you're super quick. Daniel's not quite as quick, but pretty quick. And Emil is like very meticulous. Takes his time, gets everything wound up, tapes it up, makes sure. I mean, he is very, very meticulous in how he takes it down. I'm like, all right, I figure if I'm going to put it back up the next day, it doesn't have to be perfect the first day. It's the last day it has to be perfect. But I am notorious for, like, packing my suitcase as I go when I'm on a trip. So, like, after I, like, wear something, put it in my laundry bag, I put it away. But I always, like, repack the bag right before I leave. So, I like to create more work for myself, but at least I know I have everything. I don't like to forget things.
That's very, very important, yes.
So this way I know I have everything for each day. I lay all my outfits out or hang all my outfits. I know exactly where everything is. But I also pack like per day, like per event. Like I lay out everything for the first day and then the second day and the third day. I make lists so I make sure I don't forget anything. So I'm a very meticulous packer, I will say, which I think you have to be.
Oh, it's definitely come to that. That's been a learning experience as well this season, because obviously when we're on PWBA tour, we have the truck going around to each stop with all of the equipment, drill press, and everything that we use to make the PWBA tour run from event to event. So we're able to keep all the live stream stuff on there, and that, as I'm sure Emil and Curtis and Daniel would attest to, and I will as well. It gets a little messy there because we just know it's all going to be there the next time.
Yeah.
And then that was one of the things I tried to warn Daniel about too, because these were really going to be his first events. Is like you gotta keep your kit
intact.
So you know it like the back of your hand. So that becomes very, very important with our back and forth.
Absolutely. I got very good at packing for like just in a carry-on, because obviously when I fly to bowl, normally I fly Southwest, so obviously bags fly free. We love it. But even if I have to pay for bags, I like to minimize how many bags I'm actually checking. But I check my bowling balls, and then I have a backpack and I have my small suitcase. So a couple years ago when we were in Vegas for Queens, now it's been like I say a couple, it's been like 4.
I think that was 16.
3 years ago. I was able to pack I feel like I was out there for 2 weeks. I was out there for the Queens, and I bowled Nationals, but then I also had, obviously, standard outfits that I could wear if I was bowling late or early, because I knew I wasn't going to wear my bowling attire all day. But then I stayed for like 3 extra days because it was right before Memorial Day weekend. So my friends came over from LA. We had a girls' weekend, so I had to have even more clothes for that. Luckily, it was summertime, so I could wear flip-flops. But yeah, I got to be really good at packing a lot of clothing in a carry-on suitcase. I mean, good thing they don't weigh those.
Oh. Yeah, that's his backpack is like when we have all the equipment in the back of the rental car and we kind of get to the bowling center, we start unpacking, and all of a sudden it's a backpack. You figure it's going to be okay.
Not insanely heavy.
All of a sudden, bomb drops out. It's like, oh, okay.
That's like my purse, though. People are like, "Oh, I'll carry." I'm like, no, you don't want to. It weighs a lot. Girls have big bags for a reason. They carry everything. So 467, 27, and 28 for Walsh. So that's a nice little rebound. I think they only shot like 380 the first game. So
yeah, they improved 80 pins on game one. So definitely some strides there. For Wright State, working on strikes for Ashland and Maddie, and Ashland's going to get the trip four. So safe. Marissa Carey, a chance at 211 here for Indiana Tech. She's already got the first strike in the 10th.
She stepped out of that really quickly, but gets the strike.
Oh, it's fantastic. I really thought Emil knew we were talking about it.
I was waiting. I don't know if I should tell him or not. I was like, is he really listening right now? So Robert Morris of Pennsylvania, 795 this second game. It's going to put them at 1447. Marissa Carey, big 211. Nice little rebound from her first game.
It's tough to tell where Pikeville can max out at this game.
They can add 50 to what they have right now. I'm sorry, where's Pikeville?
Oh, Pikeville's on the high end of the house.
Yeah,
I have a hard time seeing their scores in the.
It looks like they're at 886, so they can get 1090, 140 more pins. I think that's an 886. So figure if that's correct, 1020 if they all strike. And I'm looking at Indiana Tech here. 2 more strikes. Gets them to 945.
So they're improving as a team from 914 in game one. So always good to see strides in the right direction.
Absolutely. I believe Lawrence Tech shot 908 that game. So that's actually going to be. We might see a little flip-flop in Indiana Tech taking over second place from Lawrence Tech.
Good shot there from Brianna Marquis. 884 max score for Wright State with 1 shot left to go. It looks like we'll be transitioning fairly quickly into game number 3. So Pikeville and Muskingum just have 2 bowlers left to go each. Coming up next for game number 3.
883 for Wright State.
And all 3 in the 10th. 945 for Indiana Tech. Moving on up. So game 3, Robert Morris, PA, Pikeville, Hudson Valley CC, and Walsh coming up next here on Bowl TV. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here throughout the weekend at the Roto Group Keystone Quaker Classic and Lehigh Valley Collegiate Classic. We've got 3 games left to go today before we will wrap things up. Tomorrow's Monday.
Tomorrow is Monday.
Because we figured out earlier that today is Sunday. Which is important for us because we didn't know what day of the week it was. But now we know. So we can get things done knowing the day of the week. But we'll wrap up competition at both events on Monday. 20 more Baker games for both the men and the women's field. at separate centers and separate channels here on Bowl TV. And of course, as we get to 2020, with team trials coming up, our collegiate schedule will continue on. It's not going anywhere. Still a handful of events left to go before we get to the postseason. So, of course, please check out our schedule on bowl.com. The Kegel ISBPA, the Hoosier Classic, all coming up before the postseason starts. So check out the full schedule on bowl.com. But as we wait for Pikeville and Muskingum to finish up, I think we're going to take a quick little break. So everyone hang tight. Game 3 coming up next. Here for the women's field at the Rotogrip Keystone Quaker Classic. Thanks again for joining us here on Bowl TV.
haven't turned our scores. Whatever you want. Dummies? No. Not from Colorado?
Fashion, we will be giving you 2 balls, a bag, and 3 chamois. On the balls, there are 3 balls on the table. You will have a choice of what's on the table. One of the 3. Last 4 digits for a ball. 4499. 4499. For the second ball, 4973. 4973. For the bag, 2-ball bag is on the table, 5730. 5730. Now the last ones for the chamois. 4664, 4664, 5913, 5913, 5945, 5945. Those were the last 3 numbers were for chamois. I want to thank everyone who supported the program. The proceeds will go to the alert fund. And the winners, please come to the pro shop area. Thank you.
everybody, we're back here. Game 3 of 5 for the Roto-Grip Keystone Quaker Classic from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Women's competition, day 1 of their second event so far this week prior to the start of the new year. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Shannon Sellens. And here in game number 3, we have Robert Morris, Pennsylvania, Pikeville, Hudson Valley, and Walsh University joining us
on the live stream pairs. So for Robert Morris, Pennsylvania, Megan Shepley, Danielle Long, Cami Nickel, Tatiana Johnson, and Taylin Cumberland. Pikeville, Lauren Pietrowski, Stephanie Kreider, Michaela Cummings, Brittany Turcott, and Emily Toll. And on 29 and 30 are 2 teams that have shorter rosters. They're each missing a bowler or 2. They're going to bowl much faster, obviously, this particular game than everyone else. We have Hudson Valley, Carmen Morales, Gianna Weiss, Haley Salvagione, and Jordan Thomas. And for Walsh University, Addison Starr, Katie Goodman, and Emily Kiss. So we are well into this game on 29 and 30, halfway through right now. Everyone else in the 3rd or 4th frame, looks like, across the house. I love it.
We have a the Pikeville strike cheer involves asking for another one. So one of the parents from Pikeville chimes in with another one every opportunity. And we have another one of the standing sheets to review. So
We do.
See what I did there?
A couple changes. Nice lead in. I like it. Robert Morris is still leading, as we suspected, after shooting just under 1,000 that second game. 2039 overall total for Robert Morris, University of Illinois. Indiana Institute of Technology jumped Lawrence after game 1. They are now in second place by 3 pins, 1859. Lawrence Technological University, 1856. In 4th place, Pikeville jumped Wright State after game number 1 with a score of 1818. And in 5th place right now, Wright State University, 1778. Your bottom 5 did not change order-wise. Schenectady, 1540. Muskegum, 1460. Robert Morris University of Pennsylvania, 1447. Hudson Valley Community College, 1303, and Walsh University at 848.
So our tournament leader now on lanes 25 and 26, so we'll keep an eye on them, see if they can continue their pace. The only team averaging better than 200 so far.
Yes, sir.
Which is has helped them build up nearly a 200 pin advantage.
Having a rough go in a few frames right now, but I have no doubt that they will get lined back up, get a couple strings going. Indiana Tech, on the other hand, who are on 31 and 32 currently, have started the game, I should say, a little bit better. Still a few opens for their first bowler and their third bowler, one of them being a split, but other than that, Marissa Carey on the first 3.
She has settled in nicely after a rough opening game.
Yes, she did.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you about, Shannon,
Okay.
is that we have, I'm not sure if it's a parent or a coach, working the tablet there for, it appears, Robert Morris, Pennsylvania, which is going to give me a quick lead into a video put out by our good friend in the coaching department, Stephen Padilla, his most recent video in the lab for his segment on Bowl TV, The Coach. Looked at video analysis in a few different ways that can be used and it's such a new, fun way to analyze, tweak, and improve games. I know as a coach, do you have any preferred methods with using video to help a player, improve on certain things, whatever it may be they're trying to work on?
Yeah, actually, I take video quite often, not just necessarily during matches for my kids, but also during practice. I show them like back and forth, and we're trying to work on something new, whether it's keeping their hand more behind the ball, or maybe if they're released, doing something different. I try to take video and I try to compare them. It's a little hard on a cell phone, I will say. I know there's an app that you can get for an iPad that you can like put them up side by side. I don't have that yet. I need it. But I definitely use it. And then I'll also use my own video, like of me, to show them maybe like what I'm talking about. I've learned with kids of that age, sometimes it's better if they see it. Because as I've learned over the last year or two especially, I say a lot of things, the head coach of the program says a lot of things, and the kids nod like any 14, 15, or 16-year-old is going to.
Of course.
And then you realize that they really have no idea what you're talking about, but they nod like they do, and they're very convincing that they know exactly what you're talking about. And I've learned now, I show it to them, or after I tell them something or I try to explain something to them, I have them repeat it back to me. Like, you tell me what I just said to you. And 9 times out of 10, it is from another planet, as I've learned. I give parents a lot of credit. You all deserve awards for days, because I just haven't quite figured out. I'm like, am I speaking another language? I haven't quite gotten to that point where I understand what they're hearing versus what I'm saying. But it took me a little bit of time to really fully understand and grasp that, because I don't necessarily feel like I was that way when I was younger. But I mean, that was a long time ago, so I don't really remember. But no, I do use video analysis a lot, just to show them, we'll tell them, watch the ball, make sure you know where your ball rolled over, and I'll ask them, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, all right, now we're going to show you where it actually rolled. Because you are not seeing, like, in your mind, we keep saying you need to hit this arrow, or you need to hit this, part of the lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they just say it. Like, oh, it hit this. No, it did not. No, it did not. So we want them just to be a little bit more aware and more cognizant of what they're doing. So video analysis is great for them to see it over and over and over again versus, it happening once and not being able to go back and review. So I like it. I'm wondering how much they're actually going to use this. I don't know if he's just videoing each shot. Like, I'm not quite understanding really what he's going to do with this.
His arms are getting to work out for sure.
Yeah, up, down, up, down. At this point, you should just set it up and let it record both lanes. But
if only he had a Bowl TV subscription, he could
totally go back and look at all of it.
Watch all of it. But
and the whole season.
That's
not
right.
just the one event.
Very true.
That yearly pass is money, which didn't they just send an email out about?
I believe
Some yearly pass discounts. I'm just saying.
I believe that went out to
Current subscribers.
current subscribers. So
I think I need to jump on that.
it was a great deal.
It was actually, because it was less than $60, I think. It was good. It was a good deal. So if you're a current subscriber, make sure you check your email for the yearly pass. That they just sent out a deal for current members to get a huge discount for 2020 to re-up your subscription.
Oh, yeah, let's see. I want to say it correctly. Let's see. A good friend Roger said this went out exclusively to current monthly or past monthly subscribers.
So if you used to be just a monthly, you can also take great advantage of this deal. And if you are currently a yearly subscriber, you too get the savings. But I believe it's only through Tuesday.
December 31st, yep.
Yes. For less than $50 for the entire year. And if you watch, you figure it this way, event passes are $5.95, $6.95, depending on what the event is. I know this one was $9.95 because it covered both events, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure $6. We're going to round up $6 an event. If you watch 9 events. That could be the Masters. That could be the Queens. That could be the U.S. Open, men's or women's. That could be any number of PWBA events. You can watch more than 9 different events or take advantage of the offerings that are in our actual, like, homepage. Between archived events, the lab, the vault, backstage, any of that stuff. 9 times you are getting your money's worth and then some. So it makes a lot of sense. So that's a great deal. I think I need to do that. I forgot it was through Tuesday. I need to re-up my subscription.
Tuesday. Since today is Sunday, that's shortly.
I know, right? I keep thinking it's Saturday. I'm not going to lie.
But I kind of brought that up because I worked that same promo in yesterday with talking to the lab, part of the extra content available here on Bold TV. And I just remember when I finished up with high school bowling, since I stayed local for college, I helped out with the team the following year. And working with my coach, he had basically like a full, like, probably even more stuff than what we have in the live stream case right now. There's a cart with a bunch of different stuff, but he had, like one of the older, like, full-size cameras and like a TV and everything, and VHS player, and like you had to go through all of that stuff just to, and set the camera up, record, make sure everything recorded, put the tape in, rewind the tape, and do all that to actually get any of this analysis, which was, and at the time I didn't know what I was doing, so that also taking all the time, then realizing that, I really don't know what I should be looking for right now. I found that out eventually, that I started going to some of the coaching classes, but yeah, just the ease, the quickness of it all, it is very cool, very excellent, and a lot of great opportunities for folks to process information. And I think, like you said, I think so many folks learn today visually as well. So being able to showcase that, and that was one of the cool things. One of the lessons I took a few years ago was with Mike Jasnow. And
Mike's great.
Mike, definitely one of the top coaches out there, and he was. It was very interesting for some of the things I wanted to work on and some of the things that I did, and really being able to see, like, I kind of knew what my swing did, but I didn't necessarily understand some of the why of how it worked and everything, and he was able to break that down. But having that video aspect of it, versus just him saying, hey, you're pushing the ball out to the right, I wasn't necessarily feeling that, but I was doing it. But being able to use the video to kind of bring that totally back around was very helpful for me. So so many coaches definitely taking advantage of that quick feedback.
Absolutely. And just looking quickly in the chat. I'm going to hear this chant for the rest of the week, I feel like. Sorry, guys. Took a moment. Elaine, in answer to your question, make sure your pop-ups are enabled so they're not blocked on your phone. But if not, try it on your laptop. I know you said that you tried it on your phone and it didn't go through with that discount code. Try that first. So as suspected, Walsh and Hudson Valley entering the 9th frame right now. They are 3 full frames ahead of everybody else in the field. Obviously, only bowling with 7 bowlers on the pair.
We'll get an opportunity for a nice little break, though. And we have been hearing that cheer quite a bit this game, so the scoreboard starting to reflect that as Pikeville is picking up the momentum here in Game 3.
They are. They absolutely are.
Robert Morris, our tournament leader after 2 games. Nothing too crazy on the scoreboard so far as they are in frame number 6. Indiana Tech, though, putting together a fairly nice start, so we'll see if the Warriors can attempt to dig into that deficit after 2.
And again, Hudson Valley, or I'm sorry, Walsh taking full advantage and doing everything they can. They're improving on their first and second games overall as a team. Something similar with Hudson Valley right now. I give these girls a lot of credit. They come out, they're bowling all the games, getting the reps in. You obviously can't duplicate this in a practice type setting, so it's nice to be able to come out and bowl on, you know, the shots that are laid down and whatnot. I do hope that they are able to pull together the teammates that weren't able to come and, you know, obviously field a full squad for this end of their season.
We do see one of their players kind of continually working on just a very simple release drill of throwing like a rosin bag back and forth, just trying to get the right feel for everything. And
something we have our kids do in the high school program that I coach. It works. Something you can obviously do when you're not bowling. We tell the kids if their parents will let them to throw a ball into a couch something that they can just bounce. Obviously it's a soft surface, but just something to get that motion and to understand that motion and to feel it. So.
What is your favorite drill for your athletes?
My favorite drill, the one that they do right.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. That's I can't argue that.
We make them shoot so many spares. I just can't wait for them to actually do it all the right way. But we also have a beat the coach drill, where
that's fun.
We'll throw like a random shot, and they have to. Obviously, if we get 9, they have to get 9 or more. If they split or if they leave something, we make them spare it. We'll still count it at times, depending on how generous we're feeling that day. But beat the coach is always a good little one that we do, normally to end the practice, but spare shooting is just so important. I actually have flatter, looks like a base of a cone, but they're flat. Not necessarily completely flat, but that I will lay out. And we do it to get them to understand the shape. It's not just the ball going straight to the head pin. We want them to actually make a shape and get around the cone. So I have those as well. That one works more for the more advanced bowler whenever we're coaching, just because you tend to chase a lot of them when people hit them. But I want to tape them to the lane at this point. I'm kind of wondering if they can put the Elite Series on the TV that's down here, because they have it on. It's starting today.
Oh,
the finals are today.
Of course, yes. Yeah, there it is. If you, I'm definitely not a fan of watching the Green Bay Packers in front of us right now.
Yeah, me neither. I'm a Chiefs fan, so that's okay. We're playing the Chargers right now, but those games are rarely on the East Coast, so I just have to get the ESPN updates on my phone.
Fair point. Yes, my season, unfortunately, over and was amplified by your Kansas City Chiefs last week. So thank you for that.
You're
that
a Bears fan, aren't you? That's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we've had some rough years of football in Kansas City, so I'm going to live this high for a little while.
All right.
We definitely should ask, though. I would love to be able to see. I haven't even heard who won. Normally somebody leaks something, but I only know the people who didn't win. And I knew not only the pros, but I knew a handful of the amateurs too. One of them is from New Jersey, and one of them is Greg Thompson, who lives out west now, but I've known him since I don't even know when. I've known Greg forever.
Yeah,
but,
Greg's not bad at the bowling.
Not too bad. He's a tall kid. He broke his arm, came back, and then he had quite the injury with his hand, though, while he was competing in this. So I felt bad he couldn't really put his ring finger on the ball, or middle finger, one of the two.
I had heard that had seen a post about that as well. But yes, many cool bowling opportunities available here between the Bolero Elite Series and, of course, Bowl TV as well. So actually looks like.
And Bolero, the new owners of the PBA Tour. I love what they're doing right now. I'm going to try and get into this Elite Series because I bowl at an AMF center. So I'm totally going to try and do this.
All right.
You think they'd take me?
2020 goals.
Goals, yes. They should totally take me. They should.
I like it, though. Chris is watching.
Chris is watching.
Yeah. Chris is a multitasker, though.
I like
so
it.
He's But there used to be, when I bowled in the Northwest Indiana, so we got some final scores here, 497 for Walsh. So they keep improving.
Keep improving. 30 pins from the previous game, 80 from the first, I believe, and 601 for Hudson Valley.
That 199 from Jordan Thomas there.
Definitely propelled that. Nice.
But looking at that Bolero series, obviously not to the financial aspect of it, but they had essentially a oh, there he is.
If anybody else heard that.
That's right in front of us. But they used to have a cool kind of like Beat the Champs event where essentially all the participating leagues would have 1 week per season that would qualify as you'd have to hit a score, be the leader from your particular center. Then if you got that, you got to continue to move on until it got to basically a televised portion that was local, where it included you could win a car at the end of it. Obviously, you know, $250,000 and $100,000 is also very cool. We would like to get that type of
exposure again. Things going. I like it. I like the opportunities. It's good.
It is great. And so I'd like to see that. Like to see what they're doing with the PBA. And yeah, going to be a fun 2020 for sure. Their first event is going to be starting up at the home of Bowl TV, the Hall of Fame Classic coming up in January, just after team trials here on BowlTV.com. January 3rd to the 7th. Very excited that they've moved that event back so that for the men's field, we're going to have some of the top professionals returning to team trials. So they had to pick one or the other last year. So it gave some unique opportunities for sure. But, you know, having that star power in the field definitely makes it exciting for us, and excited to see once again another sold-out field and some of the top players in the world making their way to Las Vegas.
Absolutely. It'll be a good week, I think, of bowling.
It's a very I don't want to call it a unique scoring system for it, but it's definitely different. Players are assigned a point value based on their spot in the standings in each of the 5 days on the 5 different patterns. And essentially, you want to be as consistently and near the top of the standings, which is what you want to do anyway. But it's fun to see. It used to be a pinfall event over the course of 5 days, but with the 5 different patterns, there's always the opportunity to where, you know, you could just absolutely knock 1 or 2 patterns completely out of the building. And then you build up a cushion, and you didn't necessarily have to be as consistent. You could kind of get away, you know, if you were really good on the short pattern and you were hitting 2 of them, and you could go, you know, 300 over each day or something like that. All of a sudden, you got all those extra pins to play with versus, you know, having to be consistent to where one bad day, even if you're, you know, score-wise not giving pins away, you still have to be on pace with the field, which
So
makes
the point is to have the lowest amount of points, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Which makes
Got
it
it.
very difficult to sometimes track on our end of it to when someone is farther back in the standings and all of a sudden they pop a 250 and you know, okay, they're going to move up some spots, but you have no idea how many spots they actually can move up because they have, you know, if they're back in the, you know, 50s or 60s, all of a sudden, you know, they can jump 20, 30 folks. But it's very cool, very fun, and always here on Bowl TV. So Walsh and Hudson Valley are in the books for Game 3. Robert Morris, PA, and Pikeville now starting frame number 8. Lauren Pietrowski, the leadoff bowler for Pikeville, looking at a 4-7 conversion, as we talked about her a little bit earlier today. 4 tournament wins individually so far this season, which will easily put her in the talk of a first-team All-American and potentially Player of the Year this season. She can keep up that pace.
Oh, Jeffrey says there's a Beat the Champs tournament in Buffalo
Very
every
cool.
week. We like it.
All right, we turned that Forsaken Packers game off. And it does appear the Bolero Series now. On the TV closest to us here, so can provide some updates for that. Looks like the amateur match going on right now.
Isn't Luis Gonzalez the one that won the last one?
He won the first one,
He
yes.
won the first one. Oh, they brought him back. Okay. I was wondering how they kind of set this up, but that's pretty interesting.
I think they had a few returning folks from previous ones, along with some other folks.
Some new ones.
I'm going to guess Doug was the individual you're talking about from New Jersey.
Doug Heron, yes. Their AMF used to do, back when it was like simply AMF, used to do like an end of the season big tournament for league bowlers where they could go and win. I don't know exactly how it was set up, but you qualified through your league in order to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I know a guy from Long Island that I think won like, I don't know, like $50,000 or something. Like he won a significant amount of money from what I understand. So this is, I believe these are just like matches, right? Like it's like a bracket kind of?
I believe so. I think the winners of this will face the winner of who's actually
match?
in the pro match, yes.
Okay.
And then, because I believe that's been the set for the finals each time out. I see Kyle Sherman, Anthony Simonson, Shannon O'Keefe.
Reigning player of the year. Oh, doesn't get the 8 to fall.
So that means they didn't advance if they're sitting on the sidelines.
I know Jason Belmonte took on Tommy Jones today, I believe. All right, so we are entering the 9th frame in front of us. Of course, Hudson Valley and Walsh taking a nice little break. Obviously, bowling much quicker, having only 7 bowlers on the pair.
Taking a look around for Robert Morris, Illinois, our leader after 2. They are
they're struggling a little bit.
They're struggling, yeah. This is they're going to give a few pins back to the field. Probably not going to be even after this game, or better than even. Probably going to drop below plus here after 2 steady showings out of the gates. But Marissa Carey for Indiana Tech has picked up the pace for her teammates. She can still shoot 278 this game.
Yes. Turkey spare 4-bagger. And the spare was a split. I'm not sure which one, but they are over to our right on 31 and 2, so just out of the range of the camera. So they're a little bit ahead of Pikeville and Robert Morris right now. And if you look just further, Lawrence Tech looks to have 8-11 after their first 2 bowlers have completed the game. They can get to about 9:30 if everybody strikes out. So not a terrible game considering nobody's really shooting lights out right now, but I don't think that they're going to obviously take over that spot from Indiana Tech. Indiana Tech is leading them by only 3 pins after the second game, so. Marissa Carey doing what she does. She's very animated.
She does get animated on the approach. Has a very like I feel it would be fun to bowl an event with her as a teammate, which is always a I feel a good compliment. She just looks like she has a lot of fun out there. Obviously, you know, first game had some struggles, and after having such a dominant performance, wants to keep it going. And now that she's on the right track again, yes, very animated, very fun. I haven't had the opportunity to really have a chat with Marissa, so I can't speak on that aspect. But yeah, just as an observer of Indiana Tech over the past 2 seasons, definitely looks like
Well, if
a
she
good
continues
player
this way,
and a
then
good teammate. So
we might have her back for another interview.
I was going to say this is.
It is, and case in point to what we were talking about earlier, Pikeville obviously in front of us right now. First bowler and their third bowler are well on their way, obviously, to good games. Second bowler, yeah, they can still get to 190. Fourth bowler, however, fifth bowler struggling hardcore. And only having 2 bowlers really moving in the correct direction makes it very, very difficult to, you know, gain back some of the pins you've lost and to improve your standings. As of right now, they are 221 pins out of first after the second game, and they are currently at 752 and halfway through the 9th frame. I mean, it's just not, obviously it's not what you want as a team, but when you have 3 of your bowlers kind of struggling, it makes it real difficult.
And this is where, as a coach as well, you got to make those decisions.
Fred Polash over here making things happen. I just wanted him to change the TV in front of us so we could see what was going on with the Elite Series. Obviously, the football is all around. We have Red Zone on. We have everything. We can really get everything, but I figure kind of want to see what's going on.
But yeah, that's when it comes down to the coach, and you know, once again, talking about having that honest conversation with the player. You know, especially, you know, in the 4 and the 5 spot, when you see those struggles, those are usually the players you're relying on to make the big shots when you need it. So, what do we have to do to get you back to where we know you can strike and throw great shots and kind of get everything back in the right rhythm, but without hurting the team as well. So, is that time to take a player out, maybe get some other reps in there for a player from the bench? Or do certain players have that okay to, like, all right, you know, this is a bad game, but you got the green light because we know you're that good to, you know, you can bowl through this. You can figure this out. We know you can. Proven it before in the past.
Entering the 10th frame now. Literally, I think everybody is in the 10th frame. 33 and 4 look like they're actually about done. That is Lawrence Tech and Wright State. So Lawrence Tech looks like 899 maybe, or 889. And just north of 900 it looks like for Wright State. So not the best game for Lawrence Tech, but we'll definitely see. Indiana Tech will very securely stay in front of them after this game. And Pikeville might gain a few pins, but nothing major.
For Robert Morris, Illinois, now in the 10th frame as well. They got some doubles up there working in the 10th, so a chance to salvage this game and maybe not give too many pins back to the field.
It's kind of interesting, not related to this tournament, but they just brought out Jerome Bettis and Norm Duke, and I'm like, it's like little and big. The bus. He's a big man.
That he is.
And Norm Duke is not a big man. But look at him, dead in the pocket.
Jerome
Gets all
How about
10,
that?
and looks relatively normal doing it. You know, some people just don't quite have that ability, but he didn't look too off there. So. Going to be a big 10th frame for Pikeville. Michaela Cummings stepping up, 202 in the 9th. She can do 232. Fortunately, she split in that 9th frame after having pretty solid 8 first frames. Good strike there from Robert Morris of Pennsylvania. And Robert Morris, Illinois, over to our left. 150, 200, 181 for their third bowler. So struggling a bit, but wow, it's a complete miscue from Pikeville, missing that 7 pin to turn 230 into 211. That hurts. That hurts a little bit. That hurts my heart just a little bit. So max score now for Pikeville. $9-11, I believe.
I would agree with that. Another 60 pins out there.
Carry the one.
So much math in this sport.
I know, man. But over to our right, Marissa Carey. Turkey spare 5-bagger going into the 10th. She is definitely propelling her team right now. 169, 205. Her third bowler can shoot 178 with a strike here in the 10th. But Marissa can literally give them the oomph they need to be plus if she can throw all 3 in the 10th. 974 for their third bowler. So they're at 921 right now with 90 pins sitting out there between Marissa's 3 shots in the 10th and their anchor's 3 shots in the 10th. So we will see how they fare. If that's the case, they are going to go plus this game by a few, but definitely what they need, especially since Robert Morris is struggling slightly. It's gonna give them a little bit of a jump start into trying to take over that lead after all 5 games today. So now Robert Morris, University of Illinois, 168 max for their anchor bowler. Looks like max score of 901. I believe that's Danielle Chupp. And Marissa double in the 10th. They are at 971 right now. One more shot for her. Puts them at 981. We'll put them at 1011 with all 3 for their anchor. It's going to be a battle between these 2 teams, I believe.
Yeah, going to be a quick swing of right around 100 pins in Indiana Tech's favor, and
278.
wow. I mean, arguably, the scoring pace hasn't been too out of control yet, but I think she was in the 2 teens, I believe, last game after the 150. So, I mean, she's well on the right side of plus, and so, probably 40 over. So, potentially, there's another one for Indiana Tech, but could she sweep all the individual awards this week?
I have a feeling she absolutely could. She has the talent. 890 over there for Robert Morris, University of Illinois. So that puts them at 2920-ish, right around there. And Indiana Tech at a 1011 would put them at 2860, almost 2870. So talk about cutting that deficit by a lot. They definitely did. They're right at 1,000 right now, so they're going to get, even 1,000. That's huge.
Yeah, from what we've seen so far, if you're able to stay around par, that's you're gaining ground.
890 for Pikeville. And Robert Morris, University of PA, with a 658.
It looks like we just had our final shot from Indiana Tech, so they ended up with 1,000 even. But as I mentioned, going to gain 110 pins on Robert Morris, Illinois, after 3. So the Eagles still in the lead, but it's getting a little close here as we.
A little too close for comfort, I bet.
Well, if you're a fan of Robert Morris, Illinois, of course.
Very true. So coming up, Robert Morris, University of Illinois is going to move to 27 and 28 with Schenectady, 29 and 30. Muskegum and Lawrence Tech. So it'll be our first time seeing Lawrence Tech. And obviously you can check that out with the trophy tab above the chat. Aaron has so lovingly put all of the information there for you.
All this morning.
All this morning. He got up extra early just to make it happen. So.
All right, folks, game 4, as you can see, the players are beginning to move around. Shannon just ran down our teams returning and making their first appearance as well. There's 3 of the teams we've seen once already today. Lawrence Tech making its debut on Bowl TV, at least here today. But we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for game 4. Thank you again for joining us here at the 2019 Roto Grip Keystone Quaker Classic from Haja Rose Bowl in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back here on Bowl TV.